Hello, welcome to this Gespi's Atari stuff video. This is the original Atari 800XL with which my computer hobby and career all started. This 800XL has already appeared in a number of videos. For example, I made a video about installing this Sophia 2 graphics expansion. And I have also talked about this connector before. But I would really like to get rid of this connector. But then you're left with a big hole on the side. So in this video we will see if we can restore it in such a way you can hardly see any traces. I once built in this connector to connect a second keyboard. I used the top of an 600XL as the second keyboard. I later used that top of the 600XL to build a new computer. You can see this in one of my first videos. In this video I also show how I connected the keyboard and why I built it that way. At that time I had a monochrome monitor connected to my 800XL. But further away in the room there was a color television. I could then use this television with that external keyboard, which had a very long cable. But this is no longer necessary and also no longer possible. So the connector can go. The connector is located in the upper half of the computer. And this is quite easy to remove. We remove 4 screws on the bottom. This Atari has been opened many times, so you can unscrew the screws very smoothly. When opening it, always pay close attention to the keyboard flat cable. We have to loosen this very carefully. There, it's loose. We do not need this bottom for the time being. Aha, look. The connector is still connected to the keyboard with this flat cable. So we first have to desolder that on this side. First remove the tape, which holds the cable in place. And now carefully unsolder the wire. There, that was the last one. Now solder the soldering pads neatly smooth again. We can now unscrew the connector. So, this is the hole we have to make disappear. The keyboard can come out now. And this is also a good opportunity to clean the keyboard. As you can see, the brown part of the top is screwed to the white part. So we can remove this. That's nice, because there are also versions where these two are melted together. Yes, it's loose. Now we only have the white part left. As a start, I want to make a plate behind the hole. I want to create that plate from this piece of cable duct. First measure how big this plate should be. Then we are going to mark that on the cable duct. And now we can saw that piece out. Here we have the plate. Just sand off the sharp edges. But there's a small edge on both sides that blocks the plate. So we have to remove a small piece. Before we glue it, I first rub the contact surfaces with a bit of alcohol. Also on the side of the plate itself. Then I smear both sides with plastic glue. So that is in place. Now hold it together with two clamps. Now we let this dry for a while. Now that the glue is dry, we can clearly see the hole that still needs to be filled. I start with a layer of car putty. The layer is hardened well, and now we can start with the second layer. That will be a layer of polyester resin. It consists of two components. The hardener must be added separately. And stir it well. I apply the resin with a brush. This must be thick enough. Because I wanted to have the same profile as the rest of the case, I press this PBI bust plate against it while it dries. Because I don't want the resin to stick to the plate, I smear it with a bit of Vaseline. I press the plate firmly on it with a clamp. Now the resin should be dry now. Let's see how it turned out. Well, that's quite disappointing. It's not so easy to see because the resin is transparent, but it doesn't look good. In any case, I can't see the profile of the plate at all, and it also doesn't seem to be completely flat. But hey, maybe it's not that bad if it's made white. Because I also want to get rid of this yellow color. But I'm not going to use retrobright this time. I had made this Atari 600 XL white again a few years ago with retrobright. And the yellow color is almost completely back. And I made this Atari 600 XL white with spray paint not long after that. And I actually think that looks much better. So I'm also going to make this 800 XL white again with some spray paint. First I'm going to remove that cartridge port covers. So that's off. But now I still have to do something about that badge. And I don't want to damage it, so I'm not going to remove it. I'm going to cover it with some tape. Now, that should be enough. I'm going to do the same with the label on the bottom of the case. But first I measure it. And then cut out of a piece of paper with the same dimensions. And I stick that on with some tape. There, yeah, that's completely covered. And I put also some tape over the rubber feet. Now the first layer of paint can go over it. When that's done, I let it dry for about half an hour and then apply the second layer. The paint is now dry. Let's see what the result is. I'm happy how the top turned out, but not about the side. You can clearly see that it's not flat at all. I think I'm going to try sanding it smooth and put a new layer of paint over it. Yeah, and of course I run the risk that it will become even uglier. Yeah, but okay, I will take that risk. Okay, that feels a lot smoother. Before I apply new spray paint, I first put on a layer of primer. The primer is dry. Now I sand it lightly flat. Then the spray paint can go over it. And this is the result. Glad to see it's a lot better. Not perfect yet, it's not completely flat yet, and yeah, the pattern has also disappeared on this part. But in any case, it's a lot better than it was. Then I can now put everything back together. The panel can go back on. So, ready for the keyboard. But first clean the keyboard a bit. Because the project has taken long enough now, I'm just going to do a simple cleaning. And now the keyboard can go in. And finally, the two parts back together. There, that's it. Finally finished. But yeah, it looks nice this way. Well, that turned out to be a lot of work. And the end result is not what I hoped for. But I'm happy that it turned out a bit better than what it first started to look like. And yes, it's now a bit more white than the original color. But I think that is still nicer than a bit more yellow than the original color. I think it looks nice and fresh like this. And now we've come to the end of this video. Let me know in the comments below this video, what do you think of it? Or what would you have done differently? And then also click on the like button and subscribe to this channel. You help me a lot with that. Then I say goodbye and until the next Gespie's Atari Stuff video. Bye!